Today's video mainly introduces a more user-friendly method to save time and reduce headaches for small business owners, allowing you to complete a year's worth of accounting and bookkeeping in just a few hours. First, let's all thank the banks. About 2 years ago, they signed an agreement to share bank accounting and statement data. This allows us to download all the statements for the year, eliminating the need for manual entry. How exactly does it work? To make it easier for everyone to understand, I'll share my RBC bank data, and you can follow along with me. First, log into your online banking and click on the account you want to download. We'll start with checking accounts, then credit card accounts. If you have GSC accounts and investment accounts, the synchronization process is the same. First, find the download option in the upper right corner. Thanks to everyone's tireless efforts, more and more people have developed programs to help save time. And we're contributing to this cause here, making accounting and bookkeeping easier for you. Of course, there are many smaller details to accounting and bookkeeping. I'm just offering a starting point. For the most detailed explanation, you'll need to refer to accounting textbooks. First, when choosing the file type, if you're not familiar with fast-forwarding software or don't have it on hand, I suggest you don't risk trying it. Simply choose spreadsheet software. It solves everything easily, is simple and straightforward, and is the easiest choice for most people. After selecting, I choose checking account and set the data range. If you're doing a year's worth of accounting, the bank will usually provide records from the past 18 months, provided you have a paperless account. We'll demonstrate with 1 month now. You can download the entire year at once, or download each month. You can repeat this process, opening the account each month and downloading the previous month's records again. It's up to you. Then, from March 1st to March 31st, click Download, and you'll see that the March 2019 statement has been downloaded. You can choose a fixed location to save it. When you open it, it will be a visual version of your bank statement. Many business owners who hire us for accounting and bookkeeping often say that their bank has already done the bookkeeping for them. This is what's known as downloading. It's important to note that this is merely a bank record. To help small business owners track every inflow and outflow of funds, preventing any money from suddenly disappearing. It's not bookkeeping. At best, it's just a list of numbers. It doesn't represent accounting bookkeeping and doesn't reflect actual accounting characteristics. So it's not true bookkeeping. To help you organize this data into a viewable format that your accountant can use for bookkeeping, we internally recommend using an Excel spreadsheet. This Excel spreadsheet will provide detailed analysis by company bank, company card, other expenses, and sales lists. Today, we'll focus on company bank cards. Similar topics will be covered in the next installment. First, look at the first three columns: time, place, people, event, cause, process, and result. These are the 6 elements. When describing an event, you must clearly write it according to these 6 elements. For example, what day was the money spent? To whom was it spent? How much was spent? How much tax was involved? What was the purpose of the spending? And who made the spending, including the company name and the name of the company. Therefore, at least the header must include the company name, financial contact person, and contact information. If you are showing this to others, the contact information must be included. For example, if the fiscal year ends on January 31st, the bank balance must be at least the balance as of January 31st. If you have multiple currencies, be sure to indicate this. Since we have data provided by the bank, we no longer need to manually enter dates, names, and account amounts. If there are few transactions, we can copy and paste the date into the transactions field. This is all provided by the bank. Then, you need to work hard to find out if HST is included in the specific amount on the actual receipt. And if so, how much? Because some transactions do not have HST and need to be entered manually. When the bank spends CAD 10.07, your expenses increase. Record it as a positive number. It's recommended to use Excel's View Gives Freeze function. This allows you to move the table and then use formulas to check if the marketing statement is correct. When the sum is 0, it proves that this entry has both debits and credits, and is balanced. If the number is negative, it means it's an expense. Banks sometimes display strange names. You need to change them to the actual recipient. Calculate the HST payment amount using a formula, such as 8,618.44 1.13 multiplied by 1.13, and verify if it's balanced. Scroll down. Okay. Look at this entry. It's also 0, see? This means it's balanced. So you've recorded this transaction correctly. Why are there numbers above? Because you haven't assigned a corresponding account to these numbers. So what does it mean when these numbers are positive and increase in the bank? Because you have income, right? When you have income, you need to record it as AR, which means accounts receivable. These numbers should be equal to the reverse of the previous income, which is a negative number. See, it becomes 0 later. Why is it negative? This involves an accounting principle. When you increase your bank balance, where does the money in your bank come from? It comes from accounts receivable, right? When a bank increases its balance through debit and credit, accounts receivable decreases, so the AR, average receivable, remains negative. This is essentially used by the bank to collect money and pay for fixed expenses that can only be paid through the bank. Usually this includes rent, car insurance, and car interest, right? These are the things that are typically covered by the bank. Other expenses, such as staples and other miscellaneous items, are usually paid with party cards. So in the next episode, we'll talk about party cards, focusing on how to record different types of expenses. What fees have HST, hazardous tax, how to record HST, and especially how to mention tips in the mills section. If you're given $20,000, right? Let's put this here. This is CAD, currency in demand. If you're given $20,000 and you have an and-in balance, what will this number be? It will equal the beginning balance plus the remaining sum array. Your bank balance will now be $18,238. When you compare your bank statement to the number in the C of March 2019, that number will definitely equal the number on your physical copy. This is a very simple bank statement that you can easily create. Now do you understand? This is what bookkeeping is all about, a very simple, basic level. Please don't think of bank statements as just accounting. It's not that simple. We'll continue sharing in the next episode. Bye.